Hello, two anniversaries today. It's the anniversary of the day in 1536 when King Henry VIII fell off his horse. Was more serious than it sounded because he was wearing the very heavy armour that they were used to wear when they were jousting. And when he fell off his horse, the horse fell over too on top of him, and he was unconscious for 2 hours. This made everybody very anxious. They thought he wouldn't survive, and Anne Boleyn, when she got the news, miscarried and lost the male child that she had been carrying, and as we know, never to repeat the process of pregnancy. But the seriousness of the fall was not just that, it was the fact that it seemed to change Henry's personality. Before that he'd been outward going, generous, sporty, full of fun. After that he became much more paranoid, a bit obsessive, made some rather strange decisions, and the suggestion is that his accident damaged the front lobe of his brain and changed his personality. The other anniversary is the assassination of Caligula in AD 41. He had taken over from Tiberius as Emperor of Rome. Following on Tiberius's rather cruel rule, his first 7 or 8 months of rule had been extremely successful. He'd been popular, he'd initiated some very significant architectural changes to Rome that would benefit the people. He had made some very wise decisions, and everyone thought that this was going to be one of the best emperors they'd had. But in the end of AD 37 and the beginning of AD 38, his beloved grandmother Antonia, who'd brought him up mainly, she died. His beloved sister Drusilla died, all in the space of a couple of months, and at the same time, or just shortly afterwards, he had a really serious illness which people thought was life-threatening. He got over it. But again, after that, things changed, and he too became much more inclined to behave erratically, and as we know, engaged in all sorts of sexual perversions and wanted to be regarded as a god. And really, he was so deranged that he was assassinated, as I say, on this day in AD 41 by colleagues. I was interested really in these two historical situations that I didn't know about. I didn't know that either Henry VIII or Caligula had their behaviour changed by events and accidents and illness, and it made me realise that very often I don't know that about other people either. Sometimes, we meet people who behave in extraordinary ways, behaviour that we don't understand how anyone could do that. People seem to be erratic, seem to be in some ways behaving in ways that suggest they're mentally ill, or just odd. And we don't understand what might have caused this. We tend to think badly of people or dismiss people because of those types of behaviour, when actually the reason that they're behaving like that is to do with some event which has caused them real distress, some illness which has changed their personality, as it did for Caligula and Henry VIII. And so I just today want to remind myself to be perhaps sometimes more tolerant, more understanding of people whose behaviour seems to me to be more unpleasant, recognising that there may well be reasons for this that I don't know about, and which they have no control over, which has contributed to making them less than they otherwise were.